think that a lot of the sites had made mistakes where they would sign a player and they would say, okay, wear our shirt and wear our hat. That's not good enough. I believe that you have to make those players responsible, that it has to be their responsibility, not just, so what happens when they don't win a poker tournament? As you, I'm sure, have played in a poker tournament, it's almost impossible to win a poker tournament. So the chances are, you sponsor 20 players, the chances of any of them winning the World Series of Poker, almost zero. So you're sponsoring people hoping that they get to the end of a final table so that you can get some TV coverage. The chances are they're never going to get that. So to me, it's a big waste of money. You know, it doesn't seem like they're taking advantage of it properly. I think it's important to sponsor players, but I think that these sites have to demand from the players that they sponsor that they actually take part in getting creative and how to market and hosting events and, you know, creating media coverage so that that brand gets out there in a proper way. One of the most specific stories that I've heard a few years ago, there was a site called Noble Poker, and they announced that they were going to sponsor a world poker team. And they had some decent European results, but no huge stars out of this. But they got a lot of exposure in press, and the site's player count went up pretty decently. And 5 months later, they were sold for $40 million. So the fact that they actually got a little creative, and this isn't the most brilliant thing I've ever heard, that they just sponsored a world poker team and they got it on television, they did a little TV show, and they got a little bit of celebrity marketing, but they were just innovative. They were doing something smart. And the little bit of something smart helped their site sell for $40 million. So I think the sites have to do more with the sponsored players that they have and attract more celebrities. Like all gambling, all the punters want to know is that people can actually win. You see it anywhere you go in Las Vegas. You know, they're selling the dream. You see all the names of the winners, of the people who've won in a slot machine. Look at, John Jones won $6 million, playing in a slot machine. That's what they're selling. They're selling you a dream. And I don't think the sites are doing enough in selling that dream. You want to know that when you go there, you can do, like me, you can win $12 million. I don't think that message is getting out there properly. I think there's a real missed opportunity by using the sponsored players. If they're going to sponsor a player, I would imagine you're sponsoring a winner. You're not just going to sponsor somebody who's never won anything. So if you're sponsoring a winner, make sure that the world knows that you can win by playing on that site. It has to be just more than buying them into sites and wearing T-shirts. It's a little effective for them to be a walking billboard, but I just believe that there's so much more. And I believe that it starts with the affiliates. I think that you can affect that change. I think that you can talk to the sites that you're working for and make them get creative. Because if they don't, you're all just going to still be on this very, you're all making a little bit more money maybe than you made before, but it's not going the spike that it really should be. So I think that when you're sponsoring players, you have to be really selective about it and make them get involved. Maybe they'll be part of a lifestyle. They'll be part of a community. And then they might get interested. It's not just, here, do you want to put your money online and play poker? Some people feel like, well, I don't really know how to play. Well, what if there was a way that they could come on for free and then learn how to play and get tutored by people and be involved in a community and learn? I bet you if they don't play poker, they play something. They play bingo, get them involved and get them created into a community where they feel comfortable, and then all of a sudden they might want to sign up and start playing poker, but you'll already have them as one of your players so that when they then start and when all their friends start playing, now you already have them involved. I come from a business in Hollywood where my clients had to earn their endorsements. That if they weren't out there constantly supporting the brand and doing all the channel marketing and going to public speaking engagements and helping the brand, they would be dropped. Mercedes would say, listen, either you're going to help us build our brand or we're going to move on to the next one. And that's why you see so often on television, you'll see one celebrity and then 6 months later you'll see another one. It's not because they wanted somebody new. It's because that celebrity wasn't helping them build their brand. There are some that you've seen, like Tiger Woods, he works his butt off to promote his brands and the brands that he's working for, and that's why they don't just keep him because he's a winner. It's not about that. If Tiger Woods never won another tournament, he would still be a part of that brand because he's a positive, affecting marketing tool because he's out there and he's constantly working for those brands. So I think that done properly, an integrated marketing campaign that offers strong incentives and and real content for your players by a well-known personality, it will never fail. I think there are also much greater returns. People like to stay with the people they love. Let's say you have, a famous footballer as part of one of your sites, and someone's a big fan of theirs and they play on that site. They're much more willing and interested to continue to play with that footballer on that site because of that, not because of any little incentives they're giving, a $100 rake back or whatever. That's not what's going to keep them there. They're not going to go run to another site because they feel connected to that footballer. That's their famous footballer. They wear his hat. They love him. They're going to stay and play on that site. So I think that you want to make sure that there's enough business that's created by your site for you to then do your job. As an immense as an effect that the online gaming has had, it's clear from me that having listened to everybody at this conference, that there's so much more that can be done. And it's not because people are lazy. I think that they just haven't demanded that everyone who's on the team, they're all part of a team. I think that if a player is sponsored by a site, he doesn't even look at the affiliates. He feels like, who are the affiliates? Why do I have to have anything to do with them? That's so wrong and so short-sighted. You're all working together. If the affiliates are not bringing in people, then there's no money for that player to be sponsored. So I think that you as affiliates have to demand that the players that are sponsored by these sites are actually working for you. And it's not inappropriate at all. I think some people are also afraid, like they feel like it's not their place. That's wrong. I think it's absolutely your place, and you have to work with them to create more business. And I understand that you face, major challenges, and there might be new challenges that you don't even know that are coming. But I think that conferences like this are very relevant and really important, and that you can all work together. You all might have looked at yourselves, if you had never been to one of these conferences before, as being alone, and that you're working for yourself. That's not true at all. A lot of you are working for the same sites, and you're not trying to get the same players. It's not about that. There's a never-ending group. It's like an ocean, that there's always going to be more water. Just learn to help each other so that you can help, figure out the best way to pull that water in. I leave here with a much greater respect for the people in the industry, and I hope that we can all work together and make a huge amount of money, because it's all out there. But if we're not careful, it could all go away. So I thank you for your time.